dzisiejszym programie zobaczą Państwo pierwszą część filmu o znanym pianiście Marku Jabłońskim. Film ten zrealizowany w 1971 roku przez National Film Board w Kanadzie składa się z dwóch części. Drugą część pokażemy Państwu za 2 tygodnie. Marek Jabłoński urodził się w Krakowie w 1939 roku. Do Kanady przyjechał z rodzicami po wojnie. Obecnie jest znanym w skali międzynarodowej pianistą kanadyjskim i wychowawcą młodych talentów w Banff School of Arts. 17 maja będziemy gościli Marka Jabłońskiego w Domu Polskim, gdzie będzie grał utwory znanych kompozytorów polskich. Marek jest silnie związany uczuciowo z krajem, w którym się urodził. Polska muzyka jest mu bardzo bliska. Mamy nadzieję, że film pozwoli nam bliżej poznać sylwetkę tego wybitnego artysty.
First concert in Spain. I was scared to death. It's a completely new public. I don't know what they're like at all. People are going to be really nice, but if they don't like you, I think they already show their feelings. Concert is to pull up to one of these brand new halls and watch when all the cars start pulling up, you know? So when all the cars start pulling up, all these people are, you know, coming to hear, and all these people are there working, being paid, electricians, ticket sales girls, and what do you call them, usherettes and whatnot. Hundreds of people employed and thousands of people driving up just to hear little old me. It's that's when I start to shake a little bit. The most important thing is to sort of clear your head of all people, including all the people that are closest to you, and sort of consider them and the thoughts about them to be the enemy right now, because you have to really clear your head and be alone in order to sort of figure out exactly what you're going to do when you step out there. Take a look. Yeah. Don't you want to turn out the lights? Could you turn them out when I start to play?
A few years ago, I was sent by the provincial government of Alberta on a tour of small towns of Alberta. Now, when they proposed this tour to me, I thought they were crazy. But you know, when I went through all those small towns and I saw the kind of response and the kind of people who came to my concerts, who stood and cheered, they stood and cheered just as people do in the big centers such as Amsterdam and Berlin. You know, I was really, really moved. There are people in these prairie provinces, Saskatchewan and Alberta and Manitoba, that are just waiting for someone to give them something honest and true and real. Take an audience at Place des Arts, you know. I compare this, and I compare an audience of kids in a Saskatchewan high school. And I look at this big concert hall, and I see, you know, the whole floor and the first balconies filled with people who can afford the tickets and who are dressed up beautifully. But most of them really don't give a damn about music or about what I'm doing. And then somewhere way up in the fourth balcony, where the very people who should be listening to music are forced to sit because they can't afford the tickets. Students, young kids, you know, people who aren't so rich or something. They're way up there and I can't even see them, they can't see me. These are the very people that I want to reach. There was not ever one day when I said I am going to be a concert pianist. It happened.
pianist is probably the very reason, in my case, it's the very reason for my existence. Let's face it, a performing artist of any kind has many, many things to be nervous about. A performance of, say, a major work requires a physical, mental concentration of a very high order. Also requires a tremendous physical stamina. You could sort of compare it to running the 100-yard dash. At the same time, having the control of a pilot of a DC-8, you see. You have to put across an artistic message. When we walk out there, we have to, above all, say something. It's very important that an artist be babied a little bit. This is the house where I used to live for the first 7 years of my life. And down here again is the old square. And you notice the street, it's all medieval stuff here. See, this is my environment when I was a young boy. And well, do you wonder why I'm a romantic pianist? Well, you see, I don't remember it very well. But you know, that was my big piece when I was a kid. I used to play it here by ear when I was 4 years old for just about everybody that came over. But those were the war years, you know. And it certainly wasn't like playing for some little old lady's tea back in Edmonton. Because the people that came over in those days were really fine people. And if they came over, they really wanted to see you. Because during that time, if the police knocked on that door and someone was here who didn't live here, that was it. They were never seen again. But you know, I really shouldn't talk about my sufferings during the war. Because, for one thing, our whole family came out of it all alive. And you see all those people walking out there. You won't find many of them that didn't lose a husband or a wife or a sister or a brother. Mine is the only Polish family that I know that are still all together. Looking back on my childhood, I feel that I was the victim of cultural shock many times because of the fact that I was a very sensitive person and had an artistic temperament. I don't know whether people realize what happens to a child that is transported from Europe to a Western Canadian town. I think for one thing that my IQ probably went down about 40 points right there. And that's just one of the things that happens. I really think that this comes as a result of change of surroundings. I imagine my poor old mother got scared because everybody felt that I was gifted. She realized that to start me along this path would be a tremendous responsibility. So she left the decision up to me. She just took me into a room one night and said, "Marek, do you want to study the piano?" And I remember very well saying immediately, "Yes, please." So that was the decision. An early Beethoven sonata, for example, is something that can be played well by many a music student, whereas some of the music that sings and dances, like Albéniz and Chopin, is often extremely difficult and requires the most intense musicianship for it to come off. Let's take a piece like the Andante Spianato and Grand Polonaise. Now, I've slaved for hours and weeks and years on this piece in order to project the very soul of Poland. The phrasing, the delicate sort of Mozartian melodic shaping that's required over this great Polonaise rhythm is extremely difficult. And when I played it in Poland here, when a critic came up to me and said, "For this piece, there is only Hoffman and Rubinstein and yourself," I was really so happy. But when a little girl who doesn't know very much in London poo-poos it as a mere virtuoso showpiece after a performance which I thought was the best of my life, that's when I see red. Now, all these things are all right. As I say, critics are human. But when the press becomes so powerful that it can squash the individual like a bug, and when the public are nothing but sheep and they read the press to see how they like the artist, that's when the situation becomes intolerable.
at a party. It was really a wild party in Edmonton. And he asked me to dance. And he was very charming. We were talking when we were dancing. And, well, first I asked him what band he played in. He says he doesn't play in a band. So I said, well, what do you play? He said, the piano. Piano, and he doesn't play in a band. Well, what is this guy? You know, you just can't make money doing that. And I says, well, what does your mother think of all this? He says, oh, she doesn't mind, she doesn't mind. So I thought, wow, this is an interesting person. So we danced, and I asked him how old he was. And he said, 28. I said, what? Because that's the first time I ever went out with a man that was that old. And he says, well, how old are you? And I said, oh, 19. Oh, no! And he stopped in the middle of the floor, and he looked at me, and I looked at him. Oh, it was really funny. But he didn't mind. He got over that. It sometimes makes me nervous. I get very nervous. But then I try and calm myself, you know, and let him do his thing, because he's got to be nervous for the concert in order that the concert is going to be a success, because this nervous energy that he has goes into the music. And then after the concert, he's fine, he's perfect. And then, like, I have to just get over and be very calm all the time with him. And then after the concert, we do our thing, and things are great. And then he relaxes. That's sort of, I guess, it's my thing, sort of, you know, charming people.
Tackle fall off.
I don't think so. Has it ever fallen off?
Oh, yeah.
When you're playing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
What color is this?
I don't know which color it was. It's one of the dirty ones. It fits on it.
How about the patch? Well, maybe I should put my shoes on.
What socks? Buck?
No, pink.